listening to me, and if you're interested in all what we've said and you want to hear what I have to say, maybe in your personal situation, I would say success in your chosen career depends on you acquiring the necessary skills and the competency you need, and then the character. There's some career you have to emulate the character that defines success in that career, and then come up with your own plan, your own strategic plan. Like I said, don't be afraid of the word strategy. Just think on what you want to do. You see the resources you have, and then what step you can take now, and then you take that step and you repeat continuously. Doesn't matter where you set up in life, and it's not the big leap, it's the gradual process, the building step by step.
Welcome to the show. It's your show. It's the JAB show, the platform for you to unleash your life, your career, and your business. And the word we're looking at on top of the show today is that no matter where you're starting off in life, with the right mental attitude and the right strategy in life, you could always become what you were meant to be in life. Do you believe that? Stay with us for the show and we'll get to talk about this.
In changing and uncertain times, you need a bank that is forward-looking and preemptive. No matter the lockdowns or travel restrictions, RC Bank has you covered. With our mobile and online payment systems, you don't have to worry. With RC Bank SIM Corpo and Visa cards, your life does not have to be locked down. You can continue to make payments and shop from the comfort of wherever you are. With RC Bank online platforms, social distancing is enhanced, as you can do most transactions online just as you can do in the bank buildings. You can print your statements, check your balances, make transfers or payments. RC Bank, we have you covered.
Now we dey Now we done sabi Now we done lek The game don't big Take them all The cheapest data off on a salon from AfriRadio. You want some? Take them. Dial *113#. Choose number 7 and get 1 GB for just 10,000 euros and enjoy 30 days validity browsing.
AfriRadio.
Welcome back. My guest today believes that no matter where you're starting off in life, with the right mental attitude and the right strategy, you could always become what we are meant to be in life. He's a friend. We work together. He's been a staff of LBD, worked with us maybe since 2011. That must have been 10 years ago. But I'm pleased to have him on set today, Kabass Agbermodji. Kabass, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joe.
Now, Kabass is a financial management and business development consultant, specializes in businesses and financial modeling, financial management systems, strengthening, and also in governance. He helps businesses, non-profit, social enterprises, and institutions by equipping them with the necessary competencies they need to build and consolidate ethically sound and financial sustainable enterprises and organizations that can grow to fulfill their potential. He holds an MSc in finance from the University of Bournemouth, UK, is co-director and founder of One Life Consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I welcome my friend and the former staff of Life by Design, Mr. Kabass Agbermodji.
Thank you.
Welcome, Kabass. Welcome to the show. You're no stranger to Life by Design. You're no stranger to what you've been doing. When was the last time you were around me doing what we're doing?
Yeah. That was in 2011. 2011, yes.
2011. Yes. You were just passing by, and how long did you work?
I spent 6 months with Call to Business. The consulting and help with the microfinance, the printing, and the produce, the trade.
And Life by Design was at a very early stage. Yeah. Actually, 2011 was when we had just gone to television with the show, the January, and we called it calling the show Life by Design. But it's what a pleasure to have you here today. Yeah. You have a very strange name, and Kabass Agbermodji. Let's go through those background. Let's talk back then. The Agbermodji is because your
My dad is from Ghana. My dad was from Ghana, but he died when I was 7 years old.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I grew up in Sierra Leone.
You were actually born here in Sierra Leone,
Yeah, I was
not
born
in
in
Ghana.
Sierra Leone. I'm the last.
Your father had
4.
migrated to Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the last of 4, 2 older sisters, an older brother, and I'm the last one. So 4 of us carry the Agbermodji name.
And let's talk about the Kabass, because it's a funny stuff. If you're old enough, the Kabass used to be a term that you would refer to Guineans, maybe Fulans, but there would be those who are actually illiterate and really, really dull in mind, and they would be dressed with, they have this normal Fula stuff they call shokoto. And that's what they'll be wearing, and says it's Kabass. That means it's somebody who is unrefined, but you're not of that category.
No. I have actually, my birth name was meant to be Kofi, because in Ghana, Ghanaian tribes named by the days. So I was named Kofi, but my dad did not want me to grow up being called Kofi. So
any reason why you wouldn't
Kofi.
know?
I don't know.
You wouldn't know.
Yes.
You grew up at your mom is alive.
Yes.
And she stays at Lumley.
Yes.
You're currently based in Malawi.
I'm living in Malawi.
You're living with your family, and we'll soon talk about how that came to be. But you grew up at Aberdeen Road.
Yes.
And 2 sisters and a brother. Your brother's name is Kwame, and you're the last of your kids. Tell us about your primary school. What primary school did you attend?
I attend Moritan Primary Municipal School.
Secondary school?
The Sierra Leone Grammar School.
And some people say it's the only school in Sierra Leone. There are 2 schools. Say the Sierra Leone Grammar School, and I guess I wouldn't even start that discussions. And then, so after grammar school, you ventured out into ICSA.
Yes.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators. Yeah. But then you ended up with in the Bournemouth University. How did you get to be in London?
Well, when I was in my professional stage in ICSA, I applied for a double degree, a master's course in governance. But as I was waiting for that, then the opportunity came for me to go to Malawi. So I took the opportunity to go and work in Malawi for 3.5 years, then pursue the degree again. Then by the time I was going for the degree, the governance program did not have enough intake. So I opted for the law and finance, the finance and law. Yeah.
And in terms of your work experience, let's run through a bit of that. You worked with the Scripture Union in Sierra Leone as an accountant.
Yes.
Then Children of the Nation. Did you join Children of the Nations here?
Here I was not a staff. I was like volunteer. We helped set up. So I worked with Children of the Nation Malawi. That's what took me to Malawi.
Then Sussex Academy of Music as an accountant.
Yes. After I finished my master's program, then I worked with the Music Academy.
That's when you came to Freetown and then worked with us for 6 months.
Yes.
And then ran away.
Then
back to Malawi.
Settled in Malawi. Yes.
Then to go settle down in Malawi, you worked for a consulting, Salifera Consult, and then moved. You did a couple of other stuff, but you now set up a business.
I set up a business.
And what is it called?
One Life Consulting Ltd.
One Life Consulting. Why One Life?
That's an interesting question, because I believe life is not divided. You don't have a work life and a family life. If you invest in your family, that has a repercussion on your work life. If you invest in your recreation, it should pay back. So it's one unit. So that concept has always been with me, that you can't divide life. It's one. So whatever you're doing in one, it should bring a positive effect.
Does that stand to say if you focus and develop a discipline in one area, it's easy to develop discipline in another area of your life because of this discipline you're building? Can you extrapolate that?
Yes. So the idea is not to think as divisible. So if you're a successful manager, there's the same principle can apply in the home, how you use the resources in the home. Not that you run
the home like the office. Yes, not a regimented one.
The issue of efficiency and effectiveness still apply to the home.
Let's flip it the other way around. Now we're talking about if you're effective in one way, you can be effective in the other area.
Yeah.
Could you flip the opposite and say if you're slack in one area,
exactly.
Is it possible for you also to apply and for the same to affect other areas in your life?
Yes, that's the idea, that if you're slack in one area or you are burning the candle in another area, it's taking, it's not adding to the other
it's taken from the other ones.
Yes.
So somebody once said that how you are in one thing, that's how you are in everything.
Yes, I think that's the sum of it all. Yeah.
How you are in one thing, that's how you are in everything. So that's why you call it One Life Consulting.
So I hold that mental picture.
He is Kabass Agbermodji, a friend and a former staff of LBD, ACTB LBD, and is based in Malawi currently. But he's sharing his life. He's sharing potent stuff that I think would shake part of the construct that you have in your life to begin to help you just build the platform that is required to be able to take you forward in life. Now, so we're talking about your big thoughts, big stories in your life, big thoughts. And one of them you said was this issue about hope that has actually, been driving your life all this while. Let's talk about hope and the power of hope to keep dreams alive and why is hope important? And, let's go with that.
Okay, yeah. As we were discussing here, I mentioned hope because as you're growing up, you have dreams. And when in that stage, when you're dreaming, you're enthusiastic, you're fired up, you see things vividly. So there's an energy that you have. But as reality sets in, the grind, the daily grind, that dream, that fire enthusiasm begins to wane. And say, for example, growing up in Sierra Leone, you have so much things to overcome. I mean, first passing exams to go to college. Some people, when we're growing up, some people take the exam O-level 7 times. So if you have
I took my O-levels 3 times.
Okay.
So.
So hope is necessary because when the enthusiasm is waning, hope is holding on to what you have not yet seen. So that should keep you. You have to hope. As bad as things can be, you still have to hope. Because without hope, there's despair. And
what's the connection between hope and faith?
Well, I think they are interrelated because those who hope have faith.
So it's faith that normally drives the hope.
Yes.
It's just this belief. Like you said,
Yes.
you believe in something you have not seen. It's not there, but I just believe it's possible to be this.
Exactly.
Is it possible to succeed in life without hope and faith? I mean, whichever way you look at it.
No, I don't think, because our life is lived because of tomorrow. We want to grow, we want to succeed. So that hope, or we want to give back to society. So that is what drives life, or we want to be abundant. We want to multiply. So the future is always what drives them. That's hope and faith. So that's why we have dreams. Other than that, then there's no life. Without faith and hope, there's no life.
So it's that hope. So what role has hope and faith played in bringing you to where you are today? I don't know whether we would have time on the show for you to talk about that.
Yeah, we may not have time to go in depth, but faith and hope has played a great part in my life because I grew up through hardship with a single parent, with not knowing where your school fee is coming from. And there are times when we come home and school fees is due, but you ask your one and only parent, my mom, and then he will say, well, you will have to go on weekends, you have to go and sell, and then what I sell in the market. We used to have a stall at Aberdeen Ferry Road Market. So what you sell and what I have, you can take to school. So this is in our teenage years. So it was, even though in teenage years you begin to be ashamed of, carrying things.
Did you have girlfriends? Did you have girlfriends?
Yes.
And so, what if the girlfriend is also carrying something on higher equalizes, right? But
yeah, but that wasn't
the case. That wasn't the case. So how were you able to deal with that?
So so that makes, one thing I'm thankful for is the encouragement we got from like my mom's peers, like older people, my mom's age. When they see us helping our mom, because they've seen how she's stood
for you to support
for all of us, they would tell us that, Bobo, I know say this difficult for una, but una mama don't try for una.
Wow.
So me seeing you doing this for your mom, God will bless you. So that, you see, that again is hope. Even though I'm ashamed, it's challenging, I'm climbing, but hearing that, it takes away the pain. And I hope that I look forward to that.
Big picture number two that we're talking about. Big picture number two, we're talking about focusing on growth.
Yes.
And we had this discussion about you're setting a goal, about ends goal and means goal.
Yes.
Now, some means goal, they're not the end product, they're not where you're going, but it's just a journey, a path to get you to where you want to get to ultimately.
Yes.
And how you're talking about growth.
Yeah.
How is growth important in the process so that whatever you're achieving is just a means goal that ultimately ends to lead you to growth. So that even if you miss, as long as you're growing, you should be celebrating because growth should ultimately be the goal in life. Can you unpack that?
Yeah, so there's a fine line between the two. So it's you have to pay attention to really distinguish the two. A goal, most times people set a goal like I want to be rich or I want $1 million. So they're looking at the figure. But actually, your goal should be I want to be wealthy. $1 million in itself is paper or bank number. But when you say I want to be wealthy, then you picture in that I want to be able to take care of my family, afford good health. I want my children to live in a good environment. I want to be able to afford school fees. So that's a growth perspective. So you're not looking at figures. You're
not looking at the $1 million. You're looking at the change in your family, the things you'll be able to do in the lives of your family.
Figures will not discourage me. Say if my growth is wealth, so when I see the figures, it will not disturb me. Actually, most of the millionaires in our time, they did not
wake up and then says, I want to be a millionaire.
Yeah. They were busy doing what they're doing, and then the bank tell them you are now a millionaire. They were not looking at the bank because they were delivering service. And it's the same with a career and a job. A job is something you do and you're paid for. But a career is the portfolio of the value that you want to bring to the market. If you're a consultant, it's not just the job, it's the value that the clients are going to receive from you. And that I've learned in my own experience that it's the value that people pay for. So because of that, I study, I train myself, I'm interested in things that will bring value to the customer. I'm not even looking at the fees. So
those are byproducts.
Yes.
If you focus on quality, you focus on delivering those things.
Yes.
And it's inevitable that.
Yeah, like happiness is a byproduct. You don't set out to go get happy. I know some people here set out to go get happy in their own way.
Yes.
But happiness should be a byproduct. When the circumstances around you are favorable, then it brings that sense of happiness. But you're not focusing on the circumstances. You're creating the things that will give you that.
He is a friend and a brother, a former staff of LBD, and Kabass Agbermodji, now based in Malawi. And that's where he lives with his family, and he's sharing his experiences, and maybe a couple of things he's already thrown out there that has already triggered some stuff in your brain to move you to the next level. Stay with us, don't go away.
Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are a few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agents. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial *161 *9*1# and enter your PIN. Remember, you do not have to pay extra for deposits. Cashing is free.
In changing and uncertain times, you need a bank that is forward-looking and preemptive. No matter the lockdowns or travel restrictions, RC Bank has you covered. With our mobile and online payment systems, you don't have to worry. With RC Bank SIM Corpo and Visa cards, your life does not have to be locked down. You can continue to make payments and shop from the comfort of wherever you are.
With RC Bank online platforms, social distancing is enhanced.
as you can do most transactions online just as you can do in the bank buildings. You can print your statements, check your balances, make transfers or payments. RC Bank, we have you covered.
Welcome back. My guest today is Kabass Agbermodji, my friend and brother and former staff of LBD. And he's now based in Malawi with his family, and he's sharing his life stories and experiences with us. Whenever I talk about Malawi, I have so much. I have a very strong affinity for Malawi because when things were at the most difficult in my country, I had the privilege to live in Malawi for almost a year, and so I could speak Chichewa to whatever extent. Chichewa is their Creole. It's a form of their Creole in Malawi. I served in the Blantyre Christian Center. I was in the choir, and it was funny because that's the diligent Joe. Always, I'll go to the choir practices. I will record the songs in Chichewa. I will go home and rehearse them over.
That's you were able to sing them
I was able over and over. So I rehearse. I have an audio. So again, just being the best at what you do. So I would walk into the church in the morning. People knew, those who knew I wasn't Malawian, and I would be singing in Chichewa, and they'd be wondering, what's this guy? What's this guy singing? And doesn't know what he's singing, but I would not just sing the Chichewa, but I'll also translate it. Okay. And I know a lot of the song. I told you the other day. Zintu zonse zakuwamba, zintu zonse zampamadze. And this is 20 years ago. Yeah. And I can still think of those things.
I'm still trying to.
I know you're still trying to catch up, but I have a lot of affinity. We talked about how different is Malawi from Sierra Leone. You were talking about a few things, just a few things. Obviously, Malawi is in Africa. It's in Africa.
Yes.
Is it eastern part? East Africa?
They're in the southern region.
They're calling this the warm heart. They call it the warm heart
of Africa. The warm heart of Africa.
What's their main staple food there?
Maize. They have a variety of maize that is cooked in a way like fufu.
They cook it like fufu. And then they had tell me about their sauce. There was something about Malawi that was so crazy about the sauce.
They use they tend to cook in isolation. So vegetable will be cooked just
separately.
Vegetable. Yeah, then you have a sauce like a tomato on its own. And then a fried chicken separate. So they don't mix.
They don't mix like you cook in soup, where you put everything. You could put the fried soup and the stew and stuff. They're all separate. And it's funny.
Is separate, just boil.
And when we would cook, when we were there, I had two colleagues in Sierra Leone, and we would cook, and you would see cassava leaves, and everything is on top. I just say, "What are you eating? What are you doing?"
In 2016, my sisters came over to visit me, my two older sisters. So our maid, cook in the house. When she saw the amount of pepper
you put into
the meal, she thought they wanted to kill the owner of the house.
They were putting the pepper there.
Yeah, my sisters were.
Oh, okay.
They don't eat pepper like we do. Yeah.
Now, so and the weather there is super cool.
Winter, biting winter.
And it can be so cold. I was sitting on exams there. I sat one of my SSC exams there. And I would be writing with my right hand and put my left hand on the table. Yeah. After a while, it cramps. I have to be moving my fingers like that because it can be so cold. Yeah. Even the drivers will be using suits.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That was the first thing in Malawi. Everybody wears
suits.
Yeah, even a watchman returning with his bicycle from the night.
We put it on suits.
We put it on suits. I think it has to do with the weather because people are cold, and then the life president. So the life president dressed like that, always formal. So
you're talking about Kamuzu Banda.
Yeah. So he live long, so that. It affects the culture.
We're talking about the effect of the former president of Malawi, Kamuzu Banda, on the nation, and how his just his strength and the sheer length of time that he was in power shaped a lot of the qualities and characteristics of the country itself, Malawi. Yeah. And you were talking about one of the things that are there. You say is that people don't speak up their mind, and they're polite. They're too polite.
Yes.
To tell you what they really think.
Yeah, so like that we talked about earlier. Yeah, so it's a cultural thing. When you experience it, you could be shocked. Like for one way you can understand that we from West Africa, we are loud. Like if you caught somebody in traffic, he's going
and
to
they'll tell me,
blast you and
so
and everything. Then you say, well, I'm sorry, and it's done. But in their culture, it is like impolite to go direct. So then everything go out.
Always.
So you go say no to avoid the direct confrontation. So yeah, those are some of the differences. One encouraging thing is that the president was, he was an excellent guy. He planned the country, so infrastructure-wise, things were developed. He said he wanted a garden city.
And he got the garden city.
Yeah. So
what about the level of education there compared to Sierra Leone?
Well, it has its own challenges. It was hit hard with HIV/AIDS in the 80s and 90s. They too have their struggle. I think we're all in that struggling state. But infrastructure-wise, road network, because they share with their
let me ask you a question. Yeah. You like it in Malawi, and you don't want to come back to Sierra Leone,
Well, I would say I like it in Malawi. Home is home, no matter where you go.
Why don't you come back home? Why don't you come back here and stay here and live here and work?
I would say because my career life, much of it happened in Malawi. So like whenever I come home, I'm catching up as to what is going on.
Now we're going for bells and buzzers. It's the final lap of this interesting discussion that I'm having with a friend and a colleague. Kabass Agbermodji works with us. He's now based in Malawi. He lives here with his family, Sierra Leonean, from a Ghanaian father, and so that's why he has that very strange name. So it doesn't matter where you start off in life. With the right mental attitude and the right strategy, you could always become what you were meant to be. That's what we want to prove on this show. And stay tuned, because we're going to nail that even more.
In changing and uncertain times, you need a bank that is forward-looking and preemptive. No matter the lockdowns or travel restrictions, RC Bank has you covered. With our mobile and online payment systems, you don't have to worry. With RC Bank SIM Corpo and Visa cards, your life does not have to be locked down. You can continue to make payments and shop from the comfort of wherever you are. With RC Bank online platforms, social distancing is enhanced, as you can do most transactions online just as you can do in the bank buildings. You can print your statements, check your balances, make transfers or payments. RC Bank, we have you covered.
Yeah. Now we dey. Yeah. Now we done Sami. Yeah. Now we done Lek. Yeah. The game don't big. Yeah. Take them all. Yeah. The cheapest data offer on a salon from AfriRadio. Yeah. You want some? Take them. Dial *113#. Choose number 7 and get 1 gigabyte for just 10,000 euros and enjoy 30 days validity browsing. Yeah.
AfriRadio.
Yeah.
What's your final word for somebody watching you? You'll be going back in Malawi. By the time we're hearing this, maybe you'll be back in Malawi. But you know, Sierra Leone, you have your family. Some of your family members are here.
My sisters and their families are here.
They're
My mom is here.
So, but what's your word to a young man who's doubting?
So, to anyone listening to me, and if you're interested in all what we've said, and you want to hear what I have to say, maybe in your personal situation, I would say success in your chosen career depends on you acquiring the necessary skills and the competency you need, and then the character. There's some career you have to emulate the character that defines success in that career, and then come up with your own plan, your own strategic plan. Like I said, don't be afraid of the word strategy. Just think on what you want to do. You see the resources you have, and then what step you can take now. And then you take that step and you repeat continuously. So
you repeat that continuously.
You repeat the process, because now I'm able to look back and see that's what I was doing.
For you to get to where you are now today.
For me to get where I am, I can say that, okay, I repeat the same thing. I finished one cycle, there was nothing in front, but I did the same thing again. And gradually, that's how you build the character and the competencies that define who you are today.
And so therefore it says it doesn't matter where you set up in life.
It doesn't matter where you set up in life, and it's not the big leap. It's the gradual process, the building, step by step.
Kabass, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Stay back. I have my closing word for you. Don't go away. Stay with us. Welcome back. I don't end my shows without having a final word for you. And what's my final word for you today? I'm reflecting on what my guest shared today. It doesn't really matter where you start off in life. There's a mental attitude that is required, and there's a strategy that is required to become what you were meant to be. And so that's a point. And he nailed it with one of his final words that, there's no big leap in life. Sometimes we're sitting down and waiting for a miracle to happen, so that in an instant, lives are changed. It's only 1 in a million times, even where, I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, and in the Bible, it's only once in a while that a miracle happens like that, and the water parts, and you cross the Red Sea. The water parts and you cross the Red Sea. But a lot of the time, there are formulas, there are rules, there are stuff that you must do. If you're supposed to plant during the planting season and get, your harvest and do what you're supposed to do, God does not bring in miracles. No, he gets you to be there, to do the plowing, to sow the seed, to wake up every day, to do what you're supposed to do. It's only once in a while that he allows something to happen that was or not premeditated and you didn't plan for. And so that is why we go back to this thing. It's in your daily stuff. Repeating what Kabass said, that it's the thing about life why it's difficult is because it's a daily stuff. It's a daily stuff. So the right mental attitude to be able to say, I know there's a formula for success in life. And once I find that formula is part of my strategies to be able to say, okay, I act, I see the results, I like it, then I do more of it. If I don't like it, I'm not getting the result, I adjust and find another stuff and find another stuff. I've been trying to lose weight and just, be able to make sure I'm disciplined in that. Every now and again, my wife switches my diet. Maybe it works for 3-4 weeks and somehow she gives me something and it's not working. I start putting on weight again, I adjust continuously. That's the miracle in life. It doesn't matter where you start off in life. It doesn't matter. With the right mental attitude, I am a monster. I am deadly. And so I get up every day with an agenda for my life. It's not where the wind blows, it's where do I want to take my life. And I fight tooth and nail. The battles that I fight, you can't even imagine. But if you do that consistently, the right mental attitude, and you push yourself and make sure you have the right strategy, you could always become what you were meant to be. That's all I have for you on today's show. Take that, keep that, and it will change your life. Well, that's all we have for you on today's show. Don't forget to join us next time as we continue to provide you with the relevant tools to unleash your life, your career, and your business. Don't forget that this conversation continues online on Facebook and YouTube. And on behalf of our sponsors and partners, the Life by Design Group, AfriCell, RC Bank, AYV Media Empire, I've been your host, Joe Abbas. Stay blessed.